Hello, my dear friends. How is it going? I'm Arith, and today I'm here once again to present another Rune Divination method of my own creation. I've called it the Tree of Hekate. This is one of those things that pops up when you spend a whole night looking at the ceiling. I got this idea, and in the morning after I have developed this. So this method was created less than 48 hours ago, as of the taping of this video, of course. Well, let's go straight to it, shall we? If you please. As you can see, we are going to need 13 runes, and, well, obviously I took the liberty to spread them out totally at random. There's no specific meaning or explanation for the runes that are here presented, as you can see them. I have taken them at random, totally at random, just to explain the method. That's it. Now, you don't really have to follow any specific sequence. However, I'll put the order of the numbers I've set for myself just to guide myself, and I'll present on the screen as such. Number 1, right in the middle, and then the rest develops through the branches of the tree from right to up, then ending on the left side. And there's really no need to have a great focus on the numbers, but more on what each position represents, as each are different epithets of Hekate. And according to those epithets and the meaning of each rune, we can better analyze what is being told through our own intuition, of course. Perhaps you can make one reading a day for 13 days, one rune a day, or you can pick a random number from 1 to 13 and go for the rune of that same number, corresponding to that number, or make one single reading of all the runes, as each epithet can be, or can be different versions of you, your own moods and identities you take for the specific work ahead, or how do you feel on a particular day, how you identify yourself or see yourself as one particular aspect of Hekate at one moment of your life, or your own processes through life, and go for the position that represents that aspect. You can explore this in several ways. Now, position number 1, right in the middle. This is the center of the tree, the tree trunk, if you will. It represents Hekate as Trioditis, right? The one who frequents crossroads. Be that the beginning of a process you are trying to understand, or choices you must make because you stand in the middle of the crossroads and there are different paths to take, or you are just feeling lost and uncertain. This is the rune that will give you some thoughts on the ways you can proceed, taking into account the power of your choices and the different ramifications, the different outcomes. As I said in the previous video, or in the previous method, we are always one choice away from completely changing the outcome of our life. Some possible realities will never come true, and it really doesn't matter, because they do not exist, therefore we do not need to worry about them. Every choice we make changes things and creates a reality, and we live on that reality, and that's the only reality we need to concern ourselves about, right? I think we waste time lamenting what could have been, but it isn't. Instead of leaving what we have, we work with what we have, we do what we must. All we need to do is to concern ourselves with the time and reality we are in. You choose, you make your choice right now. You cannot stand forever in the middle of the crossroads thinking about all the possibilities that are not yet real. A possible outcome obviously only becomes real from the moment you choose which path to take. This is something you always have to keep in mind, which is the celebration of making your own choices. And by doing so, you determine the outcome of your life, at least part of it, at least part of the process that lies ahead. Right or wrong, you have to move and decide, because you have to live. This helps you to take the choices you must, so you can carry on but will also help you to analyze the way you make choices for yourself, and if indeed you are truly in control of your life, or if your choices are done to please others instead of your own well-being. We are not dealing with the consequences of your choices in here, but only with the essence of one's own choices, the motivations, what drives you to choose and why. Are those choices in accordance to what you truly want? That's the key here. And then another one of Hekate's epithets is Klidulhos, right? She holds the keys to Hades. You open up the ways. You have to step forward. You have to take a choice. Again, you don't need to specifically follow each position, but of course you can, as this was imagined to also do that. But you can also pick up a specific epithet of Hekate and go for it if you are feeling more inclined to that specific epithet, right? We open up ways in our lives, we make a choice, we take a path, we explore, and we are exposed to the different opportunities that lie in each path we have taken. As such, there are particular pieces of information and knowledge that form our own wisdom, the wisdom of the lived and experienced modes of life of each chosen path. You are looking for a new opportunity. You are looking to open the door to a new opportunity, an opportunity to change your life, to change something within your life or yourself, something that will set you on a course so you may have a new beginning, or simply to change some parts of your life to look for what truly calls to you and is meaningful to you. The rune that shall be presented here will speak to you either about the door you have to open or the ones you have to close. Do not open a new door before closing the way you have come from, right? Or anything that stays behind might follow you. There's certainly many things in life that you can keep with you and allow things and people to walk with you through your life, obviously. But that is not what this is all about right here and in this method. I know that because I have created this. This is about the wisdom of your own experience, your intuition, which will tell you if indeed certain doors should be opened right now or not. Certainly, you cannot wait for a new opportunity to just pop up in front of you. Seek out the opportunities, seek out the many doors that could be opened, but have the wisdom to know and understand if you truly have the key for the right door. Do not force yourself into a door for which you do not hold the key. Seek out opportunities, seek out the door for the key you already possess, and that is your wisdom, which encompasses your power to choose, the experience you have, how much you know about your own self, and what you truly want and need. From the moment you open a door, it's because you possess the key. And if such a key already belongs to you, you have the power to also close it anytime you want. If you force yourself to open a door because that's the door someone else expects you to open, well, perhaps it's not the key to that door you need to find, but the right door to the key you hold. Now, the next position is Ionos, the eternal and ever-flowing Hekate. Your personal power, right? Cut with everything that is no longer necessary in your life or simply exists now to pull you down and trying to fix you into a situation that is no longer acceptable, let alone prosperous in your life. Cut with it all of it, or minimize as much as possible, of course, the things that prevent you from thriving. You need to clean your personal energy. Your energy, your thoughts, your time, your life, it is all sacred. Don't waste it all away on things and people that do not deserve your precious time and your precious energy. Your energy is precious. You will cut off energy and clean your own so that you may work on your personal power, which is also precious. Free yourself. This is about power. The power others have over you, the powers you have over others, the power you have over yourself. Free yourself from oppression, free yourself from the powers that try to oppress you, either from others or from yourself, or both. Others only have the power you give to them, they only have the importance you give to them, and that is very much applied to you as well. You only have the power you allow yourself to have. Find what empowers you. Find what you think you need to manifest your personal power. Now, the next position is right here. Phoros or Phoros, bringing or bearing light. It's about illumination, to reveal that which is concealed, to open up your eyes, to see and not just to watch. There's a choice. There's a situation. There's action. Something you need to light up, to illuminate, and make it clearer, right? So you can proceed with confidence. If you are in doubt as to how your life is going, where you are heading, trust your intuition, and it shall be revealed how your life is going in terms of the choices you have made. Look into your life. Look into your past and present, and acknowledge all the truths you have refused to accept because they were something you did not wish to accept, yet they were the truth anyway. By not accepting the truths that were presented to you, and you have chosen to remain hidden, to remain in the dark, and to live fantasies, all of that has its consequences, and they determine the outcome of your life and the impact of your choices. But it is never too late, never, right? Look into your life and think about the situations you wish to illuminate and have a clearer perception of them. Something that you wish to resolve, something you want to know the truth about, something that remains hidden, and you wish it to be brought into the light. After that, it's always your choice on how to proceed and if you wish to accept or not. Whatever you choose, it will have consequences. It will have real effects on your life. You already know the cost of choosing to not accept the truths of your past. But not everything in life is dark or a struggle or a punishment or anything of the sort. Aglaos, the beautiful, bright, and pleasing aspects of life. As we want to know the truth and we want to change, transmute, throw away everything that holds us back, and finally be able to move forward, there is a personal metamorphosis, a blossoming, a transformation that we need and are actively looking for. Remember the situations in your life where you felt like you wanted to change and you did something about it and you have changed indeed, and what the positive impact of that was, how it made you feel. Remember the situations in your life in which the decision to change for the better transformed everything in a positive and joyful way, especially in moments when this change was forced in order to continue living and flourishing and enjoying life. Remember this power, this energy, all these emotions, so you know that although changes are always difficult, it will be worth it in the long run. Bring back that will to change for the better. Bring back that power, that determination. Transmute and flourish. Now, the next rune is Proporios, the one who serves or attends. Something that I have learned in my years of serving others on different jobs, and perhaps more especially working on a disco bar or just a bar. I mean, I don't know the term. Being a barman, right? Serving and making drinks, cleaning the floor and tables, working on the kitchen, etc., and so on and so forth. that is indeed important to have that experience, because not only it humbles us, but more importantly, I think you get to experience what it's like to be on the other side. And when you go to a place where there's a staff there that is there to serve you, you are more comprehensive towards them, hopefully. You know what they go through, you have been in their shoes, and politeness goes a long way, kindness too, empathy, right? It reminds me of George Martin's Valar Dohairis. All men must serve. Valar Morgulis and Valar Dohairis. All men must die and all men must serve. And I think that's brilliant, because much of life is precisely that, and it does build character. Accepting the inevitability of death frees you from the fears of that which you cannot possibly control, and and I could go on with that, obviously, but that's not the point here. The point here is the other part, to serve. Everyone at some point in their lives should know and experience what it's like to serve. I think many of us would be more humble and more comprehensive towards others. Only by experience what it's like to serve, you will understand the cost of it. And not only you will be far kinder to others that also serve, but you will build character, becoming stronger, more resilient, tough, but also more adaptable and flexible. I think that's the point, actually. It becomes easier to adapt to new ways of life and to the adversities of life. And all life is cyclical. We all pass through several cycles, changes, some of which in a short time period when we are completely bombarded by many changes, and it's maddening. And we face them. We adapt as best as possible. As such, we do our best to survive, to keep on living. So here we work on our own cycles, and the cycles where we are incertain and flowing. Even a specific situation or relationship has many cycles, and we do have to look into them and understand these cycles, because it helps to determine where we have been, where we are, and where we are going. Never forget to commemorate your achievements, as little as they might seem. Celebrate them. Celebrate each conquest, and here, the rune that shall be presented in this position will also help you to understand in which cycles you are still inserted, and if there are cycles that keep on repeating on your life. If they have a negative impact on you, I think it's time to break those cycles. Now, Vrimo, a change and a breaking of cycles is something hard to do. Most of the time we have to get out of our comfort zone, and many times we have to be a little bit more active about it. We have to be ferocious, dreadful. We have to be the cracking flame that destroys and burns everything in order to make anew. A flame can illuminate, but it can hurt and burn and destroy as well. Sometimes we have to be the cracking flame, furious, even vengeful, although not every act of vengeance is an awful, destructive, and quite negative thing, obviously. It depends on how you do it. I've heard before that the best revenge is success, and I do believe in that. You don't need to put out all of your energy and effort into achieving vengeance by destroying others. No, it's not like that. It is a waste of time and energy to focus on what others may think of you and how unjust they have been. Focus on your own process, on your determination to become better or to do better in order to succeed. Your success is indeed the best revenge. Prove them wrong, not by forcibly trying to become something you are not just to be accepted, but by rising from the ashes as who you truly are and succeed in it. Become yourself. Achieve happiness, achieve fulfillment. Look into yourself and understand who you truly are, what you truly want to achieve. Know yourself. Look closely, look deep, and understand what type of person you are right now and who you have become. Is this the person you want to be, or you want to become something else? It's not about tolerating. It's about accepting the truth of yourself. Take good care of you. Many things in our life are not achieved because we are not able to make a choice, and we do not make a choice because we are not yet aware of who we are, or if the person that we are is truly ourselves, or if it is a forced constructed identity used as a survival mechanism. Look into you. When you know who you are, many decisions in life will come out easier. Sometimes we do have to be harsh with ourselves to force our own selves to be lifted up. We need to be furious, dreadful, and swipe out everything that composes the aspects which we do not identify ourselves with anymore in order to truly become ourselves. Become the cracking flame. Now, the other position number 8, is Enodia, she on the way. Every path we take always has its moments of passage into another path. Everything shifts, everything ends, it's always a cycle, and it's all right to come to a point when you know you have reached the limit and say it is enough, or interiorize that it's just not for you, not anymore. It's perfectly fine to reach a point and just understand that it's no longer for you. And you take another path. You experience something else. You avoid and move on. Know the limits, and you can better walk the paths you have chosen until you cannot walk on them anymore, and it's time to choose another path. Understand the limits of everything. The limits of your own power, the limits of your own strength, the limitations of a situation, action, relationship, and so on and so forth. There are certainly many adversities in life, many obstacles that can be surpassed, obviously, of course. However, there's indeed limits on a variety of things, and sometimes it's not worth the effort. Reserve your power, might, and strength for the things, people, and situations that truly require your power, might, and strength, and your energy, of course. When you reach the limit, it does not mean it was a defeat. It means you have come this far. You have fought and won many victories, many battles. You have achieved many things. And now it's time to move away and take another path. And one that requires your abilities and where you can best put into action your wisdom. But also, it is important to understand the things you haven't done and experienced because of the limitations you have imposed yourself. Do not limit yourself to a life where there's nothing but an inner agreement of settling for a life that in your mind is good enough because you don't want to believe you deserve more. Do not settle. Know your worth. Look into the things that put a limitation on your life, on your decisions, and do not allow you, yourself, to truly live. Now, moving on, I've totally lost myself back there because, well, this was created less than 48 hours ago, so please give me a break. Now, next one is Korothrophos, Hekate as the nurse of children. This could be a whole speech concerning working with your inner child. I'm sure you have heard about it plenty of times, and indeed, it's something you should perhaps look into it and give love to your inner child, to take care of yourself as you view your own self when you were a child, to give the love and affection and all the things you can give yourself as if you could go back and meet your own self as a child. In a way, this is another work on the renovation of energy. Since everything is cyclical and our energy is precious, there are indeed moments we must nurture our energy and we must have a renewal of energy. This is the time to address the issues in relation to having a reward for the efforts made, but also the ability to accept that we all deserve good things and happiness too. We all deserve to be rewarded. We are worthy of happiness. We cannot deny that. We cannot limit ourselves to a life of suffering because for some reason we believe we are not worthy of happiness or having a reward for what we have accomplished so far. Life cannot be just an effort, a suffering, a constant work just for the sake of working and acquiring the basics of survival. Life has and is to be lived. See the fruits of your efforts, see if you are really receiving them, and if not, then why? What can you change or improve so that you really get the reward you need and the reward you are worthy of receiving, right? Right, I had to check my notes again, just to see in which position we are and what I have made up to be. And position number 10, which is Krokopeplios, which is in a literal translation, a yellow dress or robe, but it is far more than that, of course. An epithet used in ancient Greece, actually, or in ancient Greek language, for a variety of goddesses, especially of a celestial nature, right? And Hekate is no exception. She's cloaked in a bright color, a color that glows. Interestingly, this is not applied to the glow of a celestial body such as the sun, but in fact it was more commonly or most often applied to the moon, cloaked by clouds. Clouds obscure clarity in the light of day. However, by night, the glowing moon makes clouds shine. That's what it is. A light in the darkness, the mysteries of the moon, the mysteries of the night, in which illumination can be found. A glowing presence that opens up the mysteries, right? While the light of day can clearly reveal many truths, the glowing of the moon in the dark night reveals secrets. It reveals mysteries only to those brave to walk among shadows. There are many shadows in our world, much darkness in our societies, just as there is inside of us. Our minds, hearts, and spirits are often cloaked in clouds. But there's a glowing light that tries to shine through. This is not a time to seek the mysteries, but instead to find them, to work on bringing forth the glow of the darkest aspects of life and of yourself. A time to work on loss, on death, on closures. Many taboo subjects don't have to remain in the shadows and completely in darkness. They are heavy, and many aspects of life are not likely to become as bright as the sun. However, there can always be a pleasant glow that helps to clarify things and find beauty, comfort, and magic in the dark aspects of one's own existence. Not everything can be healed, mind you, but it can be understood, and we can better deal with such things. It's time to put an end for good, to finalize what has been postponed. Everything has its limits, and as said before, and limits often mark a change. Look into the questions that need answering. Look for the things you have to finalize in your life. Look for the feelings you must let go. Solve as best as possible all the things that still lie on the table and bother you. Address the difficult aspects of life that bring you torment and shed the pale glow of the moon on them. Transform them. Transform the darkness into something that is far more pleasing to look into. Now, according to myself, position number 11, Chthoniya, of the earth or underworld. Talking about heavy matters, in the obscurity of the soul, what we try to bury becomes taboo, but it must be attended to and resolved to stop disturbing us so much. We are here dealing with fears and feelings of guilt. Freedom from fears and guilt. Don't be afraid of life or change, nor continue to torture yourself with feelings of guilt about things that are in the past and will never come back. It doesn't matter what could be done or what could have been done in the past when things have already been done, have already happened, and everything else and everyone else is already moving along other paths. It's not fair to remain sitting, leaning against a cold stone by the side of the same path as always, while everything else moves along other paths and everything and everyone continues to exist in it, to live, exist, and enjoy the experiences lived. It's not fair to stay on the same path just looking at life happening around us. It is inevitable to make mistakes, it is inevitable to suffer, make mistakes, hurt, and be hurt. Change is necessary. However strange and terrifying it may be, right? We know that. We often get stuck in a routine because it has become a habit, because it has become comfortable, acceptable, because we are content or accommodated. Look into the things you fear losing if you change and move on with your life. Look into them and see if it's truly a great loss or if you are simply attached to a reality and a life that no longer exists, and in truth you just dream of what it was before, and you are only living the memories of something that has come to an end and won't return. Look at the things you blame yourself for and let go of them in a way that allows you to continue to move forward in life. We are coming close to an end. The position number 12 is Propylia, before the gates. You stand before the gate, but you cannot yet walk through it. You must work on your wisdom in order to free yourself, and finally enter through the gate or out of it, into another reality, another life, another cycle. Freedom and opening up new opportunities. And also, wonderful surprises. Life is made of many cycles and cycles within cycles, which gives the possibility to experience many lives and as well as to enjoy the multiplicity of realities. Not an easy task, but we do have to look into the things that prevent us from going through the gate. What burdens in our lives do we need to release ourselves from? What illusions do we continue to live that continue to trap us and prevent us from flowing through the diversity of life? Again, my notes guiding me. This is the final rune, the final position number 13, and finally, Sutheria, Hekate as the savior. There's a lot I could say about this aspect of Hekate, both in historical terms as well as in aspects related to magic and the occult and the mystery surrounding this goddess, of course. However, for this specific method I have made, we are dealing here with the truth, the raw truth, no embellishments. To free ourselves with the truth, to burn in the truth, and to be born anew. The truth save us because we free ourselves from living under illusions, and as such we are able to move forward, but also to protect ourselves against lies and deceit. The truth fights against injustice and puts us on a path of wisdom. If you are feeling that you are constantly being deceived and lied upon, it is sadly a common sentiment, as we are indeed swimming in a sea of disinformation, distortion of reality, dishonesty, deception, and perjury since we are born. As much of our early personalities are inevitably influenced by several aspects of life, such as the society we live in, our education, our upbringing, our economic and political reality, religions, traditions, agreed upon views, etc., and so on and so forth. The truth sets us free as we grow up and understand the patterns and question why things are the way they are and are done the way they are, right? The truth about ourselves and our place in the world sets us free. When we look into it and understand that there's a whole reality with so much diversity of thoughts and actions and perceptions on life, and in our own way we are all unique and yet so similar, each with their own individuality, of course, yet most of us seek out similar things. Here we look into the truth. We seek out until we no longer need to seek it because we have found it. the truths that we want to be revealed, the truth that the things we suffer from, we can also inflict them upon others. None of us is exempt of hurting and committing an injustice. The truth that all of us are different in the eyes of a variety of people. One single individual can be perceived in many different ways according to the way the individual interacts, expresses itself, or even by not doing anything at all, but simply by being judged by the eyes of those who do not truly know the individual. And in truth, no one truly knows anyone. The truth of one's self lies only within the self. And I think this went well. My dear friends, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. May this method be useful to you, and may you take from this presentation something that helps you to become a better version of your past self. Something that helps you to move forward and set yourself free from many things that often haunt our minds, souls, and hearts. Be well. Thank you so much for watching. Many blessings to you. As always, see you on the next video. Until we meet again, my dear friends.